Modern siege warfare paralyzes a population by targeting centralized infrastructure. By controlling the single points of failure in our power and water grids, architects can enact a total blockade without ever deploying a visible army. The architects of the current system designed a linear three-step blueprint to force a global reset. The plan relies on a rigid sequence of events: sever the energy, starve the water, and then reboot the global financial system. This sequence begins with energy scarcity. Centralized hubs like the Kuching crude oil hub are critical geographic choke points. By disrupting fuel logistics and depleting these domestic reserves, the architects can halt the primary driver of modern industry. Once the diesel stops flowing, freight networks freeze. This immediately impacts municipal facilities like this one, which depend on a just-in-time supply of cloning and coagulants. Without these trucked-in chemicals, tap water becomes a vector for disease or simply stops flowing. This initiates the dehydration cascade. Billions of people carry a biological payload of graphene oxide, introduced through global injection programs. Under normal conditions, these materials are hydrated and flexible. But when a population loses access to water, the graphene loses its hydration shell and crystallizes into microscopic nanoblades that shred capillary walls. This mechanical kill trigger executes within 48 to 72 hours of the water cutoff. With the population neutralized, the architects intended to implement Step 3, a total financial reset, where global assets are rebooted under their direct, centralized control. This was a linear design for a spreadsheet, but it ignored the reality of coupled systems. In the real world, biology, energy, and economics do not wait for their turn in a sequence. They react as a single, unstable web. Reality shattered the blueprint immediately. Instead of a controlled sequence, the vectors of collapse crashed together simultaneously, forming a self-feeding loop. The initial spike in oil prices didn't just create a fuel shortage, it instantly destabilized the exchange rates of import-dependent currencies. We see the speed of this contagion in the collapse of the yen carry trade. Trillions of dollars in global liquidity evaporated as the rising cost of energy forced an immediate unwinding of high-leverage financial positions. This produced a state of liquidity death. Municipalities failed to secure water treatment chemicals because their purchasing power died before the physical diesel reserves were even depleted. In a coupled system, the vaporization of money outpaces the depletion of fuel. The financial collapse didn't just follow the dehydration cascade, it drove it. The financial market functions as an omniscient calculator. It analyzed the physical data of this architecture and identified a catastrophic flaw. When independent scanners began matching the unique Bluetooth signatures of the injected population to specific semiconductor manufacturers, investors recognized a massive hidden liability. The market realized that the hardware embedded in billions of people was a biological time bomb that could no longer be insured. This realization triggered a $730 billion semiconductor bloodbath. Right here at the Shanghai Stock Exchange, the market aggressively priced in the hardware liability, liquidating the companies that manufactured the enrollment components. Major reinsurers like Zurich followed the market's lead. They identified the injection payloads as an uninsurable risk and began defecting from the system to protect their own balance sheets from the coming fallout. These shifts represent an actuarial confession. The financial system detected the crime and detonated its own infrastructure to escape the blast radius. The global collapse is now a self-feeding detonation. Financial panic, energy scarcity, and biological crises are endlessly amplifying one another. Because the digital financial layer has failed, the transactions required to maintain the electrical grid and transport chemicals have ceased. The liquidity crisis is now the primary driver of the dehydration cascade. The ultimate irony of this design is that the physics of the architect's own trap is vaporizing the very capital they intended to seize. Without functioning markets or liquid currency, the architects can no longer pay their security forces or manage their containment narratives. They have lost the ability to fuel their own escape. They are now trapped in the very blackout they designed for their victims, caught in a liquidity crisis they accidentally engineered. This collapse proves that total centralized control is a logistical impossibility. This clears the path for the void age, a decentralized paradigm where architecture and power are passive consequences of structural physics, rising independent of the old, failing grid.